about this one. Let's start our class. Okay.
Recording in progress.
We have continuing our class on chapter chemical bonding. I hope you remember, right? In the chemical bonding, I have given one assignment to you, and you have submitted that assignment already, right? So until here, this hybridization we have discussed, right? The definition of hybridization and also the conditions of hybridization, right? So we have also shown you that there are few types of hybridization. Among this, we only will discuss sp, sp2 and sp3 hybridization. Can anyone recall what its hybridization is? Anyone recall the definition of hybridization? If anyone can recall the definition of hybridization.
So the mixing of orbitals to create degenerate orbitals of same energy level.
Mixing of degenerate orbital. You said mixing of degenerate orbital, or I couldn't get actually.
Or similar energy orbitals.
Similar energy orbital. Very good. So mixing of similar energy orbital and producing
degenerate orbitals of same energy levels.
Degenerate orbital of same energy, right? Very
yes.
good. And also the number of orbital will be the same from
yes.
the original number of orbital
will be
participating in this hybridization, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's start with sp3 hybridization. This sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization you already studied in HSC. We will try to review again. Okay, S and p3, that means 1s and 3p, right? Orbital will take part in hybridization.
Recording in progress.
So as we discussed before, we have discussed that hybridization happens in the
Recording
electron,
in progress.
right? So if you distribute in electronic configuration, you find that 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? So if you elaborate this one, then you can find 2px1, 2py1, and 2pz0, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
In the ground state. Who have no doubt about this one? Is there any doubt about this one? Anybody has? If no, then if it is excited state, if you impart some energy, okay, or if you impart some of the temperature or any other form of energy, then it will be excited state, and that time the electron of orbital from the ground state will be agitated, and then one electron from s orbital will go to p orbital, right? And the excited state will be like this way. Okay, that means 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, and 1s 2s2, there was 2s2 electrons, so one s electron will come to this 2pz, right? So this will be excited state. If we show you in the graphical representation or in some figure, then you may see this one. The ground state was 2s2 and 2p x1, 2p y1, and 2p z0, isn't it? Can you see the figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when the acceleration happen, when if you provide some energy, then this during excited state, one electron will move upward, and the electron will be 2px1, 2py1, and 2pz1. These four orbitals will take part in hybridization, and that will be called as sp3 hybridization, and 4 sp3 hybrid degenerate orbital will be formed. Question: if you don't understand this figure, any one of you? Okay, it's clear to you. So 4 degenerate hybrid orbital will be formed. Why this 4 orbital is called degenerate? Who can answer?
Sir, the orbitals are called degenerate because they have more or less the same energy and they're in the same level, but only the axis of rotation is the different.
Okay. Same energy. Very good. So that's why it is called degenerate orbitals. Now, if you just show how the s orbital and p orbital will be mixed up together and how it look like after when it will be formed the hybrid sp3 orbital, this is one sp3 orbital, right? All 4 orbital will be named as sp3 hybrid orbital, isn't it? So this is one sp3 hybrid orbital, this is another sp3 hybrid orbital, this is another sp3 hybrid orbital. This all sp3 hybrid orbital will be looked like this one. Okay, there will be dumbbell shape of p orbital and s orbital. These two will be mixed up together, and ultimately sp3 hybrid orbital will look like this one. Okay, so this sp3, this 4 sp3 hybrid orbital will be arranged like this. Okay, in case of 4 hybrid orbital, sp3 hybrid orbital, this 4 sp3 hybrid orbital will be arranged like this, and this will be arranged as tetrahedral shape. isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in case of tetrahedral shape, uh, you all know about the bond angle, right?
Yes, sir.
If I ask you what is the bond angle of this one, this uh, this lobe and this lobe, these two, what is the bond angle here?
109.5.
Okay. And how about the bond angle here? These two here.
Sir, all angle is same.
All angle is 109.5 degree, because maybe because this is 3D picture, right? So
Yes,
in
sir.
case of 3D picture, maybe you cannot see because the 3D picture is pasted on 2D page, right? That's why it looks like this bond angle is smaller, right? It looks like this bond angle is bigger. It's not like that. All the bond angle is
Same.
109.5 degree. I hope all of you understood, right?
Yes, sir.
So in case of tetrahedral sp3 hybrid orbital, this is the intrinsic property of a tetrahedral shape, that they will have 109.5 degree bond angle. All bond angle will be 109.5 for tetrahedral shape. Okay, if there is a deviation from 109.5, then that deviation will be due to some other interference. Okay, we will discuss the deviations later on. Okay, so in case of sp3 hybrid orbital, because this is tetrahedral shape, and this tetrahedral shape can be represent like this way, right? This tetrahedral bond angle of the different lobes of sp3 hybrid orbital you can show like this way as well, right? So this all bond angle will be 109.5 and 109.5 degree. Okay, so this tetrahedral shape, now as you seen here, there are 4 hydrogen, you know, CH4. We have started with the CH4, right? So if the this is the hybrid orbital of carbon, 4sp3 hybrid orbital, and this is hydrogen. So 4 hydrogen atom will be bonded with 4 sp3 hybrid orbital with the covalent bonding, right? And ultimately it will form this CH4 tetrahedral shape, and this molecule, right? So this is the hybridization in CH4 with the sp3 hybridization. Any question regarding this?
No, sir.
Very good. So in case of sp2, completely same or similar, right? Concept is similar. There is a little difference only, that in case of sp3 there are presence of 1s and 3p. And how about sp2? 1s and 2p orbital will take part in the mixing, and then they will be hybridized together and forming 3 sp2 hybridized orbital, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How many sp2 hybridized orbital will be formed?
3, sir.
3. Okay, so in case of carbon, if we take the example ethene, okay, so this compound has carbon also. In this carbon, due to the bonding, it will form sp2 hybrid orbital. Okay, sp2 hybrid orbital, and later on it will it will participate in the bonding with the hydrogen, and it will ultimately form this CH2 ethene compound. Okay, so let's start with the hybridization first. In case of carbon, you know, again 6 carbon, and in the ground state it looks like this, and in the excited state it looks like this, right? So in case of if we see the figure, then we find that in the ground state, again this one was the ground state for the previous hybridization also, and if we provide some energy, then the excited state happen, and then there will be 4 electron in 4 orbital, and after that if it is undergo sp2 hybridization, then 3 orbital among the 4 orbital, 3 orbital will take part in hybridization, and another 2p orbital, for example, if it is maybe 2pz orbital, so 2pz orbital will be as pure 2pz orbital. Have you understood this part? 3 orbitals, 1s and 2p orbital are taking part in hybridization. Another 2p orbital, if we call it as 2pz, so 2pz orbital will be
Sir, 5 sir.
will not take part in hybridization, and it will be as pure state, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can say 2p pure, 1 pure p orbital will be there, and another 2p orbital and 1 2s orbital will take part in hybridization, and 3 sp hybrid orbital will be formed. 3 sp2 degenerate hybrid orbital will be formed. Okay. Okay, so how about 2pz? In case of 2pz, in case of the sp2 hybrid orbital, it will be also look like the sp3 hybrid orbital, because here also 1s and 2p orbital is taking part, and ultimately the hybridized sp2 orbital look like this one. Okay, and when 3 sp2 hybridized orbital will be prepared, that time this 3 sp2 hybridized orbital will be arranged in the 120-degree bond angle. Okay, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so and this is not like the tetrahedral shape, rather this is triangular shape, right? Triangular shape, and in one plane. So this is 120, this is 120, and this is also 120. It's obvious, you can see, and you can guess that. Okay, all will be 120, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when this sp2 hybridized orbital is created, and it will be arranged like 120, so in the case of CH2 and CH2, this compound, there are 2 carbon, right? So 2 carbon with their sp2 arrangement will be placed side by side, right? Later on, if we find this blue lobe are sp2 hybridized orbital, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If you look at this figure, this blue lobe of carbon, for this carbon, this one is sp2, and this one is sp2, and this one also sp2. How about this green one?
2pz.
Pure 2pz, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So likewise, another carbon will have the similar pattern, and this carbon also have this one sp2, another sp2, and this is another sp2, and this is 2pz. So as you understood that there is only one pz orbital was pure, right, for one carbon. And so this is one pz. How about this one, the lower one, lower half, this one?
In total, it is PZ.
In total it is a pz, right? So some of you has some confusion. Sometimes I have seen that was in previous also, that you think that this is one bond and this is another bond. It's not like this. Rather, this is one lobe, right? Or one pz orbital. If we see the p orbital, we find the p orbital with two lobe, right? P orbital with two lobe, pure p orbital with two lobe, isn't it? So this is one pz orbital, one pz pure orbital. So this is only one orbital, this is only one orbital, isn't it? Okay, so now there are four hydrogen. Those will make bond with the hybridized orbital. Okay, this sp2 hybridized orbital will be bonded covalently with hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, and this 4 lobe will take part in will be placed like this way. Another 2 sp2, this is sp2 and this is another sp2 from different two carbons. That two sp2 hybrid orbital will be bonded sigma bond, right?
Yes, sir.
And they will be sigma bond. There will be sigma bond. This is also will be sigma bond. This is also will be sigma bond. This is also will be sigma bond. I didn't actually mention this bond in CH4 in case of the sp3 hybridized orbital. How about those bonding will be? Is it pi bond or sigma bond? What do you think?
So sigma.
Sigma bond.
So all four will be sigma bond. So here the presence of pi bond, that's why we are actually mentioning these are sigma bond, right? This is sigma bond. These two sp2 and sp2 hybrid orbital bonding together sigma bond. Other four are bonding also sigma bond. How about the pure pz orbital?
Pi bond.
You know that pi bond happens bonding sidewise, overlapping, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this pz orbital from this carbon and this pz orbital from this carbon are actually sidewise overlapping happening, right? And they are making bond, one single pi bond, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is pi bond, one pi bond, another one is sigma bond. So there is a presence of two bond. So you can represent in the molecular structure like this way, that one is pi bond, another one is sigma bond, and these are sigma bond with hydrogen. So in case of this double bond, there is a presence of one pi bond, another one is sigma bond. Is it clear to every one of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope if there is any question, you may. I have no question, right? Okay, so next topic is sp, and it is again similar to sp2 hybrid orbital, and in case of sp, 1s and 1p orbital will take part in hybridization, right? And 50% will be s character and 50% will be p character. When we take an example of ethine, there is a triple bond, presence of triple bond, right? In this case, you know that sp hybridization happens. So in case of sp hybridization, you again we can see that the energy in ground state like this way, and the similar pattern in case of excited state. There will be four orbitals, but two orbital will take part, one s and one p orbital will take part, and other two py and pz orbital will be in pure state. One thing I didn't mention in case of sp2 orbital, when something is in pure state and when something is in lower energy state, the sp2, that means hybrid orbital, will be in lower energy state. Okay, as you seen here, right? Hybrid orbital is in lower energy. If you look at the energy bar, you find that this is lower energy, right? And this is higher energy, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so in case of sp also, the sp hybrid orbital will be in lower energy state, and the pure orbital, pure py and pz orbital will be in higher energy state. Sometimes when you draw the figure, sometimes you do the mistake. That's why I have mentioned this one. Not all of you, some of you. That's why I have mentioned. Please keep a look on this one, that you should draw the sp hybrid orbital in lower energy state and pure orbital in higher energy state. So when the hybridization or sp hybridization happens, it happens similar way like the sp2 and sp3 hybridization, right? 1s, and here is 1 2p orbital will take part in hybridization, and 2 sp2 hybrid orbital will be formed, isn't it? When 2 sp2 hybrid orbital will be formed, they will be arranged with 180-degree angle, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These two sp hybrid orbital will be arranged in the carbon atom in 180-degree. So you can arrange like this way. So the bond angle will be 180 to one another. Okay, so these two sp hybrid orbital, where these two hybrid orbital, that is not mentioned, that is not actually drawn here. This sp hybrid orbital will be placed here, right? sp hybrid orbital will be placed here, another sp hybrid orbital will be placed here, and for this this carbon, one sp hybrid orbital will be placed here, another sp hybrid will be placed
Yes,
here,
sir.
isn't it? And there will be one sigma bond between these two carbon, with one sigma bond of overlapping of two sp hybrid orbital from two carbon atom, isn't it? This is that bond, sigma bond. Okay, other two sp hybrid orbital will make bond with this hydrogen. Okay, and another one will make bond with this hydrogen. So all sp hybrid orbital are bonded together, right?
Yes, sir.
All sp hybrid orbital are bonded together, and two pure pz and py orbital are still there, isn't it? So this two pz from two carbon will take part in one pi bonding, right? This is one pz, another one, this one is another pz from another carbon. So this two pz will make bond with one pi bond. Another pure pure py orbital, and this is another 2 py pure py orbital. These 2 py also take part pi bonding, sidewise overlapping. I hope you understood the sidewise overlapping. That's why it is pi bonding, and it will form another pi bonding. Okay, so how many bonds are creating between 3 carbon?
3, sir.
3 bond are actually creating. One is sigma bond and 2 is pi bond. So these 3 carbon, these 3 bond you can mention. In the middle there is sigma bond, right? And other 2 are pi bond. This is another bond, and this is another pi bond, right? So overall the molecular formula or molecular structure will be like this way, isn't it? Okay, so question, if you have any. So next topic is actually we will discuss in next class, that is molecular orbital theory. Before going to that one, we'll try to just summarize the distinction properties between the ionic bond and covalent bond. Okay, we have discussed in short the ionic bond, covalent bond, coordination covalent bond, isn't it? And as well as the metallic bond and hydrogen bond. This you already sent as is all 5 bond explanation of all these bonds from your assignment. Have you understood? If you have properly written in assignment, you can use that one as notebook. Or if you didn't write down properly, then you can study from your book. Okay, book or materials, you can, whatever materials you can find, you can study. So but you have to study all the 5 bonds from here. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the distinction between ionic bond and covalent bond, we all know some of the distinction. Ionic bond can be ionized, right? And covalent bond cannot be ionized, right? The compound can be ionized, the covalent compound cannot be ionized. Reactive, ionic bond are more reactive, covalent bond not much reactive. Ionizing solvent is also can ionize, not ionizing solvent. Okay, high dielectric constant, low dielectric constant. Okay, associated molecule, in case of ionic bond, they form associated molecule. That means they may aggregate to each other. But in case of covalent bond, they normally do not aggregate to each other. Okay, and sorry, and then there is isomorphism can be in case of ionic bond, but in case of covalent bond, isomerism will be there. High melting point for ionic bond, low melting point for covalent bond. High boiling point again for ionic bond, and covalent bond low boiling point. And in case of ionic bond, that is polar liquids, that's why those are called abnormal liquids. And in case of covalent bond, those are non-polar, that's why those are normal liquids, we can say. Okay, these are the distinction or differences between ionic bond and covalent bond. If any question you have,
So, can you explain the isomorphism?
Isomorphism means if you look at the crystal, for example, sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is bonded together with ionic bond, isn't it? And also they form crystal, right?
Yes.
In case of crystal, all the crystals will have similar crystallization pattern. Okay, But in case of covalent bond, if you find due to the presence of the double bond and triple bond, and there are many more things, the crystals may be different to each other, though the ionic formula is same, though the molecular formula is same, but the molecular structure can be different. Have you understood? Trans or the cis and many other, right? So that's why there are crystallization will be different to each other, though the molecular formula are different, but though the molecular formula is same, sorry. And for ionic bond, molecular formula same, as well as their crystallization also same.
Sir, what is referred by abnormal liquids?
Abnormal means this is polarization forms. For example, in case of any ionic solvent, they form polarity in the ion, right? Polarity means one side there is a negative charge intense, and another side there is high positive charge intense. So there is not the characteristics of liquid. Liquid should be equal to everywhere, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But in case of covalent bond, these characteristics are actually found. That's why those liquids are called covalent liquids, or the non-polar liquids are called normal liquids. Okay, but all these are liquids, but in general characteristics we can differentiate like this way. What is the time now?
It's 9:48.
Okay, so we have maybe 5 minutes or more, right? So if you have any more question, we can continue, or we can finish the class here. Do you have any question? Any other question?
Dielectric constant in ionic and covalent bonds, sir, how is it different?
You know dielectric constant, right?
Yes, sir, we studied in physics about the dielectric.
Okay, so from the physics, can you mention what is dielectric constant?
It is actually the relative permittivity.
Okay, if I just make it more easier in concept, basically the dielectric constant is the storing capacity of electricity, storing capacity. Okay, so in case of polar liquid, or in case of the ionic bond, they can store more electricity or electric power, electrical energy. Have you understood?
Yes.
But in case of covalent bond, they cannot store that much of electric power, electric energy. Have you understood? So that's why it is called as high dielectric constant, low, and in case of covalent or non-polar, there is low dielectric constant.
Okay.
Okay, so I hope you got this point, right? So then regarding the hybridization and other thing. Okay, so if you don't have any question, then let's conclude here. We will have another question in another class
Recording
on Tuesday,
stopped.
right? We'll have another class on Tuesday, isn't it? Do you remember? We have another class on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we have class on Tuesday.
Okay, from this is 7th week of your class, isn't it? if you count the week, how many week we are already have completed. But as I guess that maybe this is 7th week. So if it is 7th week, after that the transformation of class will be there. I will take one class per week from next week. If it is 7th week, then from 8th week we'll take I will take one class per week, and Professor Abdul Jabbar sir will take 2-week class. So please please be careful about this one. Maybe you get the updated program schedule every day, right, from your CR or from your CC from the department, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
We'll try to give all the information beforehand in the Google Classroom, but still if you are careful, then you can you do not have to miss any class. Professor Abdul Jabbar sir will take class from next week, most probably 2 class per week, and I will take 1 class per week. Okay, and this week maybe the last week for the I will take 2 class per week. Okay, so I hope there will be no miscommunication or misinformation, and you will join in the proper ID and password. Okay, thank you very much. If you do not have any more question, then let's conclude here. All the best. Okay, that's it.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam.